What's going on, chat? Just give us a little bit here. We're just getting settled in and we'll be ready to go with today's episode of the Knights of Teleria podcast. I hope you guys are ready to talk about Chimera and the debacle, or disaster, I should say, of what Plarium's done. Guys, we're just waiting on PJ and we'll be ready to go.
Ten, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome on another episode of the Knights of Teleria podcast, and thank you for joining us on this beautiful Sunday where it's nice and cold up here in New Hampshire. I think it's like 25 degrees outside, so it's nice. It's nice. I'll take that over the heat. We got a lot of things to discuss today. We've got the debacle of the Chimera Clash. We're going to discuss a little more on, does Plarium actually test things out? And it's going to be a fun show. That said, before we go too far, let's introduce the co-host for today's show. In the top little red box, or I think kind of little red because it's a little off. I'm going to fix that in just a second. We got Streamer of the Year, Mr. FinalKenpachi. Ken, what is going on, sir?
Doing good, man. I was 1 week off from my work. I took a break to celebrate the Path of Exile release. Got a little bit sick too, but man, I don't know actually which one is the worst, like being full-time streamer is the harder or the like part-time work. And I'm not talking that much on the work, but keep talking on the streams actually make you super tired. But we did it. We are in the almost Act 3 actually, almost going to finish the game Path of Exile. And we also take a look to Indiana Jones today actually. And not gonna lie, I got quite a fun, and welcome everybody.
All right. I heard that in the new Indiana Jones that it wasn't Harrison Ford that is Indy now for the voice. It was somebody else, I think.
Yeah, it's a Troy Barker, I believe. Barker, yeah.
Okay.
Harrison Jord, not Jord, Ford, show on the Game Awards though with them actually on the like 2
Really?
days ago. Yeah, he was on the stage on the Game Awards with the Troy Barker and him and the guy who is head of the Bethesda. All of them was there. Immersive Todd. What was his name? Todd Howard. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Next up, we got the top 100 live arena player, Mr. Gestal Gaming. Gestal, what is going on, brother?
Not a whole lot going on, man. Just trying to get the Sir Nick on the free to play and getting ready for the fusion, man. Getting ready for it. I think she might be all right.
Okay. Okay. But we will touch up on her a little bit too, because I think she is actually pretty good. But the problem is, I feel like the pairing together, Sir Nick is just way too outdated. Next up, we've got my favorite late night streamer in that sexy green background, Mr. MXPJE. PJ, what is going on, sir? How are you?
Doing well. Thank you for having me. Yeah, watched some UFC last night, some decent fights. Yeah, can't wait to talk about the Chimera and what happened this week with that. And yeah, excited to be here and discuss raid with you guys.
You're kind of sounding like something really bad happened. I don't know. Was it bad?
Never.
Was it
With
I don't
raid
know.
bad? No. What? No. Can't be.
And last but not least, we got the Dab Master coming all the way from Texas. What is going on, sir?
Well, you know that the Teleria tests, that's their number one priority. They test all releases prior to coming out, never have any bugs. So
They test our patience.
we're doing
I
great.
think. That's what they test.
Yeah. They test as long as the transactions from your credit card to their bank accounts work.
They
That's
test
only-
the money is coming in. That's what they
Yeah.
test. And yeah.
That's what they test. No, we're good. We're having a great day. As much as we can. We're chilling.
Nice. Guys, I'm going to apologize in advance. My throat is just absolutely killing me. I'm going to try to do the best. I'm trying to drink as much water and fluids as possible. So if I will mute myself if I go through coughing fits and stuff like that. So that said, let's talk a little bit about the Chimera debacle, right? How many of you right now are looking at this kind of a situation where the top team is already in like the 100 billions? Ken?
I mean, VAV clans abuse that. I also told my clan mates to abuse it, but unfortunately, we wasn't a bit too much people with this relic. So I was one of the person who report this to the Polarium because somebody on my chat said like, "Hey, bro, my GNAT is dealing like 90 million damage." I'm like, "What? What are you drinking, dude?" And he starts sending me pictures. I'm like, "Oh no, it's happening again. It's happening again." You know. Actually, funny thing too, you know, like I think they patched that, right? A couple of hours, if I'm not mistaken. And there is no statement about the Chimera Clash, like nothing, like nothing happened there, guys. You know, there is nothing to see there. You know, Polarium is saying nothing, bro. Like this is unfair. Like what's gonna happen? Just reset the Chimera Clash this week, or to give every single clan #1 reward. Boom. Oh my god, not this week.
I feel like I've done that before in my life.
You mean jumping like that?
Like as like a sheep or something. I was in a Christmas play. I was Gruffy the angry sheep. The grass is greener on the other side. Yep, and I'm pointing the opposite direction of y'all. This is perfect. Yep, that's me, Gruffy the angry sheep.
I'm loving this.
JR is the son of
That's awesome. Who did that?
I'm looking red, yeah. This was the Power
Red.
Rangers one.
Yeah, that's good.
I love it.
Wow.
Yeah, it's amazing.
I love
Thank
him.
you.
I love him. Great job, sir. Great job. Gestal, what about you, man? Has anyone taken advantage of this?
Yeah, I'm just about to look at it, and it looks like nobody's really gone crazy in ours, so pretty lucky. I don't play in like a crazy. I've been in the same clan since I started. Like I'm friends with pretty much everybody in the clan, so I don't. But we're not very serious, so we're not facing any of the big boys. So yeah, we're not facing it. I'm not gonna do it. I don't know, man.
Well,
Tired of these
it's been patched,
crazy
so
things.
there's no one else that can.
Oh,
do
they already
it right
patched
now.
it.
Yeah.
Oh, good for them.
Oh no, they patched that up within like the first hour that it happened.
Oh, I thought that was still rolling.
The
Can I
funny
say
thing-
something real quick?
Go ahead.
Sorry to interrupt. So most of us only attack Ultra Nightmare and the Nightmare, right? And we only get like a couple of material. So we able to craft like maybe 1, maybe 3, right? Relics. There is still a couple of them. Nobody ever craft them, right? Especially Legendary one or the Mythical one. I am telling you, watch when we able to craft them and start using them. It's gonna cause another bug. I'm telling you. New bugs are incoming, guys. Teaser soon.
It's funny because Farbstoff tested a lot of this stuff on the test server, and it was reported back to Plarium, and they said, guys, don't make any news about it. Don't say anything. By the time it goes out, don't worry, we'll have it fixed. And Lord and behold, it was not fixed. But you know, we live and learn. Next time, maybe we just put the video out and we talk about it, and they fix it prior to it. Because when we leave it in their hands, it really doesn't until it gets out into the general public. PJ, how about you, man? Did you have anybody that abused this?
Yeah, definitely, of course. There's a couple of people in my clan that did it, and then there was people in the clash that I'm in that also that got it in. I'm actually in the clash with like Timid that did that like 900 billion.
Tamatoa? Yeah.
Yeah.
He actually is double
I saw
Yumeko
that.
with the like Marus, I believe, like stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's a couple of people that did that, so they're definitely gonna win. I think we actually might get second because we had a few people that did it as well. So it's good for us, but not good for the community. And I was gonna mention the thing that you mentioned with like Farb stuff. I think I saw a Scratch video and he mentioned it. It's like, that's so bad. They knew this ahead of time. It's like, it's one thing if it would have been released, like they didn't know and like, oh my god, like relics are messed up. But the fact that someone told them before and they said, oh yeah, we'll fix it before it went live, and they didn't, is like honestly unacceptable. It's so bad in my opinion.
Right.
But yeah, there's definitely people that use it in my clash.
Okay. Mr. Zero, what about yourself?
Yeah, I think it got caught before people abused it in the 5 pairing that our clan's in. Our clan didn't do it. So I think we got lucky there. But this just goes to show you can't release a competitive thing without the new content at least going through a month or 2 of being introduced to the game, because maybe they reward the entire player base with like, hey, our bad, here's some resources, or here's some things you would have won.
Star Sage will be nice.
Yeah.
yeah, Star Stage would be nice. Yeah. No, I mean, it'd be nice if we all just got like the top tier chest or whatever. Like everybody that ran their keys, no matter what, this week they hook us up with something like that. So we'll see. So they have a way to make it right, in my opinion, but we'll see.
Right. Chad, I'm curious from you guys, how many of you are in the current situation where people have just used the keys to this extent? I'm trying to find, I think it was reported in the CC chat for the Timatuora key, because when I looked at that, I was like, holy crap, like, are we serious here? Like, what are we doing? I'm just looking for it here. I think it's the last one. Nope. Guess not. But so these are some of the keys that were out there. We got 2 billion here. We've got what, 95 we got 95 billion here, right? So it's just crazy that they just kind of let this stuff through, and then they said, guys, we did test it, we've got everything that we need to done. And it's really comical that their response for a lot of the things is, we're looking for complex solutions to make sure that things don't get out of hand. I don't know. I feel like this is not a complex solution that they're looking at, right? That said, go ahead.
What's your next question? Because
go ahead.
Well, I want to know what your next question is.
Go ahead. I'll let you go first.
I sent you a screenshot of some of the teams.
You said, oh, you sent it in chat. So there we go.
Okay.
So here we go.
While you're pulling that up, I was just simply gonna say I feel like one of their things. Oh wow.
Yeah.
That's dirty.
So fun.
That's
It's so funny.
what are you gonna do with this kind of team? Double Yumiko's.
Yeah.
It's wow.
Double G nut.
Maria's. Yeah. That's crazy. That's crazy.
Oh,
Tested, I'm sure, of course.
100% tested. 100%
Yeah.
tested, guys. Come on. Let's be honest here. They test these things out. Go ahead, Zero.
No, I was just gonna say I feel like one of their mitigation tactics, just to go off that last statement that you made, was to limit this to 5 champions. I think being content equal to or greater than Hydra, and we bring 6 to the Hydra fight, I feel like personally I'm lacking an extra slot in this, and I'm curious if that was their mitigation factors. Like, oh, we'll go back to 5, and this will limit what people can do in terms of, you know, how complicated this fight is and how many supports you need to bring, and you have to have a reviver, and you have to, you know, bring a damage dealer, and you got to bring a debuffer, and it's like, I feel like 5 slots personally is a little bit hard to get through, but I don't know.
Right, and I agree with you on that. I think the 5, because when I started putting my team together, you know, I've been kind of looking at what I need to do. And no matter what, I feel like there's just one thing I'm missing, because you trying to run it, this was what I was trying to run earlier. And I'm like, all right, I need somebody to help me cleanse some stuff off, because I was talking with, I believe it was Being Useless on Discord, and he's like, dude, I think resistance is going to be the key here. You need to make sure you have enough resistance. And so we started talking a little more about it, and I'm like, okay, trying to get, because you need something like 500 resistance and 300 speed to be able to kind of go at a 1-for-1 with the boss, if you don't bring decreased speed or a decent decreased speed. And it was really just like, I'm like, I need something else a little more. Even with the double G nuts, I was barely averaging like 2 million per turn. So with that, do you guys think that 5 was the right key for them to be able to go against the Chimera boss, or should we have had more like 6, like Zero Brew says? Ken?
Like 6 key a week, you mean?
Like 6
No,
champions,
6 champions.
six champion slots instead of 5.
Yeah, especially for the trials, 5 champion. Like if you don't have a specific one, which is unit. I mean, you need to be do 1 key for sure, right? Then you need to do decent amount of the trial. And if you don't have a specific champion, it's quite hard to do that. So you need to be sacrifice either your maximum damage to do more trial, your survivability, stuff like that, or you need a specific champion. So, but here's the thing, guys. Like Plaurim actually confirmed that live arena bonus are coming there. So if you guys have some live arena bonus medal, keep that. You know, there is no time yet. They didn't announce the time. It could be like 7 months later. I don't know. But that live arena bonus can definitely help us. Yeah, like we can get like.
I feel like they kind of reversed that. They should have given us the Clash way down the line and then done the bonuses for live arena like now, right? I feel like that would have been better. Sorry, Ken.
To be honest, I actually like the 5 champion because, like, especially as a content creator, we are doing takeover stuff like that. Man, build a 6 champion for the Hydra is not fun.
Right.
You know, like, so I'm happy to deal with the 5 of them. You know.
Right. Yeah. No, I think the 6 would have been a little bit better. Like I said, it just feels like right now, because we don't have those arena bonuses, it's a little too much to try to finagle. Again, the stats for this are a lot crazier. Like I gotta rebuild, you know, yeah, it's only 5 champions, but it's out of the 5 champions, it's 5 of my most used champions. Like I'm using my double G nuts almost in every single team. I'm using my Marius and my Hydra and Arena team. So they have to be rebuilt for this. And unfortunately, to try to build this team, you got to lock them into those speeds, into those builds. and it's just kind of tough. Gestal, what do you think? Should it have been 6 or 5?
Yeah, I don't know. It's like with the trials, it doesn't make sense to me because, right, like I don't think it's possible to do all the trials as stands. So it almost seems like it was made for 6. Because that would then give you the ability now that obviously could change with more champs coming out. Blah 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 blah. Yeah, I never thought of it being 6, but it like when you said that, it kind of almost makes sense. They're not going to change it, you know. Obviously,
Right.
I think this is what we've got, but it kind of feels like maybe it would have been made with 6 or 4 or 6 originally, and then they're like, you know what, they're going to get through this so quickly. Let's just do 5, and they're gonna have to figure it out. You know, this will just take a lot longer with new champs or something. I don't know, but
Right.
that's an interesting thought. I'm fine with the 5. I think the whole trial thing is very interesting. I haven't really messed too much with it. I just went for damage last week, but it does provide a pretty interesting and element to it. And it's gonna have you building more champs, and it's gonna have you pulling champs out of the vault, and I actually kind of like that. And I'm fine that people aren't doing it all already, you know, whatever. So I guess I'm fine with 5. I like Kenpachi's reason, but I don't do that many takeovers, so it doesn't really bother me.
All right. PJ, what about you? What do you think?
Yeah, so when I was like first making teams, it did feel like I was like always missing something, or I felt like I wish I had that extra champion, but I also was like, I think it'd be a little bit maybe too easy if we had 6 champions, because we would be easily able to get like that exact like team that we want and need. Whereas this, we have to be a little bit more picky, and we can't really take everything. We have to be a little bit more specific. And I think it's not going to be what we want, but I think another thing that Teleria wanted us to do and using this is mythicals, which is like additional champion because they can do both forms, which is rough because it's hard to get mythicals, but they're really strong here. So yeah, I don't know, I feel like 6 would be, especially, I mean, again, it's right now, it's hard. We don't really have relics, or we just started to get relics. We don't have like the big ones yet. We don't have the area bonus yet. So I feel like once we get all that and we get more into Chimera in a couple of months and down the line, I think it'll be better. But yeah, I think 6 would be a little bit too easy. I think 5 is pretty good.
Okay. Mr. Zero, what about yourself?
Yeah, those are all valid points, and I think the mythical one makes a huge difference. Yeah, so the way I feel about it right now, yeah, I don't think there's a way to get all of them, right? And so maybe that's why there's so many of them. But like, it just seems like an unattainable goal the way they built it currently with 5 champions. And I keep trying to experiment with different damage dealers, and I just come back to back mode for the speed up, speed down buffs, and leech and turn meter. Lydia, you have to do defense and weaken to do any type of damage, I feel like. And then I think so I'm using Elatrion for the blocking of the debuffs, but I think maybe you're right, Blaze, and maybe they want us to put our best gear on the team that does this, and then you can maybe get around that. But then in my last 2 slots, I'm using a Crazier for damage, but then I'm bringing Sulfurion to kind of be that hybrid to give me some damage and some turn meter, but also has the revive when inevitably the Ram, you know, smokes a Crazier or whatever.
Right.
Yeah, so it's like, I mean, you have to have a reviver, and you have to have some way to deal with the debuffs. Yeah, and then you have to have the defense. So I just feel like there's just one slot, or you're just missing that extra damage, or the numbers are so damn tall on what they're trying. You know, hey, do 8 billion to get this top chest or whatever. Like I just feel like we're missing that 6th slot after having Hydra with 6. But I think y'all raise excellent points. I think over time it's going to get better. Get that live arena in there, and then get more relics. Maybe this changes things. But I feel like, before when they released new content and I couldn't do the top level yet, it was because my account wasn't ready to do it. And I feel like I got plenty of champions to do all this crap, right? But I just feel like I can't do it. So maybe that's where I'm feeling that frustration.
Okay.
Does that make sense? What about you? What do you
Yeah,
think?
yeah. I'm interested. I did a poll out here, so I want to see what chat's gonna have to say here in just a second. But I did, like I said, I feel like the 6 would have been just easier, and I guess maybe it's just because we do have Hydra, and we've gotten used to that. As for, you know, the bigger complaint that I have with it is we can't really speed tune what we want with it, right? And I feel if because when we go back to traditional clan boss, we have the 5 slots, we speed tune, we know what we have, we know what we're getting at what point in time. We can't really do it with this one because there is some element of RNG, even though most of the stuff is, you know, going in a rotation. Most of it is because of the decreased speed. With that though, sorry guys. With that in mind though, I feel the 5 is just too difficult to try to get it. Like I said, especially because we have just enemy max HP hitters are really what's going on here. If you look at some of the teams here, no matter what, everybody's running Gina, Acrizia. I mean, we've got one Harima here. Everybody's running Marius. So I don't know if this is going to allow us or give us anything different for down the line on other champions, right?
Can I jump real quickly?
Yep, go ahead.
This is like when the first time they released the Hydra, right? We was looking for the Husk, right? And a max HP champion, stuff like that. But after that, we got a live arena bonus, and with the 20% ignore defense, extra critical damage, stuff like that, like normal champion, like normal DPS champion, become actually better performance on the Hydra because there is in a max HP limit. So I'm kind of expect to see the similar stuff here when they release the
I don't think that's going to be
live
the
arena
case here.
bonuses.
I don't think that's going to be the case here because we're locked into 65 turns. Hydra doesn't have 65 turns. We're locked into 65 boss turns. So your damage is going to always be capped to how much you can actually put out. So I don't feel...
I think he raises a valid point. Yeah, my ninja was smacking really hard, and I tried ninja today or earlier this morning. And
cannot help you on the trial. So
hitting for
and a max HP
160
champion can't really help you on the trial.
Yeah.
True. It can't. But at this point, do you really go for the trials or do you go for the 1 key? Where do you kind of stand on that situation, Ken?
I mean, if I have the champion who can deal with the full auto, I'm focusing full auto at the moment, to be honest. I don't want to deal with that manual. Why not? Of course, I will use the...
Right. But are you building your team more to just get the 1 key?
I don't have a champion.
You don't have the
I
champion
need a Necmo, and I don't have a Necmo, so...
Okay, so are you focusing more towards the multiplier for the clash points, or are you just trying to get the 1 key as close as possible?
1 key at the moment on my account wise. But if I have an option, I will definitely do it.
Okay. Gestal, what about you?
I just went for damage. I'm more so just because I'm trying to get familiar with it and just trying different champs, different comps. I do want to run it full auto because that's what I like to do. I mean, it's kind of nice how they separated it, like where you could just set the A1s on the RAM, and if you got to turn something off, I like that they set it up pretty well in the AI. But yeah, I mean, I think the progression here is, get the 1 key, get the damage, and then start working towards the trials, looking for new champs. That's kind of how I'm approaching it.
Okay. Yeah, and it like I said, it's capped at 65 turns. So no matter what, I don't think that we're gonna get, unless champions start coming in with ridiculous multipliers or high blessings, right? So that everybody abuses crushing rend. Everybody, is looking towards that Slayer gear because it's got the 35% ignored defense. I think that's about the only way we're gonna see some of these some of these other champions that are not enemy max HP hitters, come into this kind of content. PJ?
Yeah, So yeah, personally, I'm going for a mix of damage and trials. I think if you can't one key, that should be your priority. Get the one key and then go for trials after. But I think trials are definitely really important, and should be something people should work towards after getting that one key.
Okay. So speaking about the trials here, this is probably, I think this is one of the highest ones that I've seen. And shout out to
Senna's so good.
yeah, it's Senna is actually like the #1 champion for this content right now. But 9 trials, right? That's pretty crazy right there.
It's crazy that 9 is tops, though. I mean, there's
it-
27.
Yeah,
yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
That's a
I mean,
third. And
what it-
Fade's account, bro. Fade's account is one of the best accounts in the game. That account is insane.
Yeah. It is crazy. And he's running what, 3 mythicals, right? So I don't even know how would we even get to 27 trials. Zero, what about
I
you?
mean, in the future they can release like, sorry to interrupt.
go
In the future
ahead.
they can release like. Oh.
Yeah, you
Sorry.
go ahead,
Yeah,
Ken, sorry.
I'm sorry. In the future, they can release like champion. We have like 69 abilities, and boom, like
Yeah.
easy solution. So
Yeah, so
and they obviously going to 10x, 15x. But
No, it's
very
gotta be
simple,
a
man.
mythical.
Create the problem, sell the solution, bro. Come on, believe
Void
do that.
mythicals. Void mythicals.
Void mythicals.
Yeah.
There we go.
Ooh.
They're gonna be 3
Leak.
champions in 1. 3 champions in 1. Zero.
Yeah, I think again that 6th slot will help you do both of those things. Obviously, put out more damage and do the other. Like me right now, I'm just really trying to focus on our clan. I'm just kind of throwing my keys at what we had to beat. We didn't beat Nightmare last time, but of course our top hitters hit like easy and whatever. So maybe we
Right.
can do that this week. But yeah, I'm not getting. So on my Nightmare run, I'm only getting about 50 million, but I'm getting anywhere from 6 to 8 trials, so that multiplier goes up on that really well.
Right, but let me ask you
yeah.
though, the focusing on the trials, like, is it really worth it? Because what are you gonna get? Like a chance at 1 gemstone.
Yeah.
So-
More
you're
than that.
right. Yeah, I mean
So,
you're right.
It's 1 random shape of a gemstone.
No, it's more than that.
Are
So
you sure?
on the like you talk about trial, right?
For the trials right here, because you have
You talking about the personal chest?
the
They
personal
are
chest.
personal chest, not trial. Because
Yes.
it's impossible to get the mythical crafting material without trials, basically. Ultra Nightmare top chest doesn't give you that.
Okay, so
It's only give you legendary, which is so stupid.
to get those mythical trials though, you got to deplete the
Yeah.
chimeras with dual bar within 5 turns. What do we got to do here? Damage the chimera while it's under weaken or decreased defense and will not count the damage from counterattacks or enemy max HP hitters, which is stupid. And that, look, first of all, let's back up just a second here. How much of this shit was bugged last week? Did you guys notice, like, you were going in and trying to do some of the easiest ones, like this one, damage the chimera within 3 turns while it's under decreased defense and your champion's under perfect fail. I could not for the fucking life of me get it to go. It was like my Marius is got increase, is got veil, the chimera's got decreased defense, and my 8th 2 should be taking it down no problem. Couldn't do it. How many were you guys facing those same problems last week, Ken?
I just full auto, to be honest. I didn't notice it, man. I'm sorry. On my account, I mean.
Okay. Gestal?
Yeah, I felt like I was doing a couple of the easier ones. I didn't like dig too deep into it, but I kind of felt like I was like, man, I feel like I should have gotten one of these trials and it didn't happen. So I would say, yeah, it probably happened.
Okay. PJ?
Yeah, I was definitely having issues. And that's another thing that's really annoying, that they like in the digest they said they know about these issues and they'll fix them in the next big patch. Like they just came in and fixed the relic issue like within a couple hours. Why do we have to wait till the next big patch to
Right.
have these things fixed? But yeah, they said that the issue is that the damage, if your character died, the damage didn't count, and it's the ram form, so it's like, good luck. Like, how are you gonna, unless you have block damage or unkillable, like you're gonna die. So that will be fixed in the next big update. But yeah, I was definitely having that issue as well.
Well, with the ram form, you know, I was bringing my Marius and he was hitting with the decreased defense, and I was just using my A1s, but it was like the damage was not even going through at that point in time.
My damage was going through, but it wasn't counting for some of, like, the other when it was dying.
Right. Zero, what about you?
Yeah, again, I tried to get like 6 or 7, and I'm actually running it now, and I just got 3 right now, so I'm up to 5. But I feel like earlier when I ran my first key, yeah, I wasn't getting the block damage. I know you have to have X amount of debuffs while he's under block active skills or whatever to get that one. But I felt like it wasn't moving at all. It wasn't moving the needle, and I was like, I have the buff. I can get it right here. So there's definitely still some bugs going on. And yeah, I agree. It's like, how do you release a competitive mode when you can't even release this thing bug free, right? Or
Right.
I don't know. I'll get off that high horse.
So is it me or is it the trials change from week to week? Because I don't remember.
Maybe.
No, these were the same.
These are the same? Okay.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we'll take a peek here and see if anything different's been happening. But Perfect Veil decreased
Please don't
defense.
give them idea, by the way. Listen,
Yeah.
please, bro.
If they were to change, I would imagine they could change during the rotation changes.
Yeah, and
How did I just said?
that wouldn't be a bad one to have, but yeah. So looking back here, YouTube side says 50% would love to see more one extra champion, and on the Twitch side, 70% say that they don't want to see an extra champion this. So kind of 50-50. What the hell? This form just came out really quick. Let's talk about what has been like your biggest issues with the Chimera. What are you finding other than that maybe possible 6 slot trying to make that perfect team to 1 key, or at least 2 key? What are you finding the most difficult thing to be, Ken?
Protection set, actually, because protection set kind of needed on your sport champion, and if you are unlucky to not have accessories, man, it's very tough without protection set. Even you have a champion, protection can make a super safer, actually. And champion like cleanser, actually, like most people, actually I'm surprised most of people still doesn't have Alva. She was guaranteed, actually, guys, so
Yeah.
but obviously maybe you wasn't playing, maybe you
Yeah, it was
decided to
years
skip
ago.
it, but yeah, it was a
but
while ago.
also, if you
Actually,
leave
she's
and come
also-
back, they give
Yeah.
you an Elva too.
It's $20, right? I think.
Yeah, if you have her.
Definitely worth it.
So quit playing Raid for like, what is it, 3 weeks, and then you'll get it. You'll do all the trials and all that stuff, or all the quests, and then you'll get Elva for $20. Gestal, what are you finding to be the most difficult?
It's that revive position, because like even if you bring Elva, super strong, brings the buffs, it's still a single revive, and if you got 2 damage dealers that die during that ram form, like not having the AoE revive really stinks. But she's kind of the best in that. Instead of Senna, man, like Senna is the best, and I don't have her, so. It's trying to find a good revive, a good, like someone who's not going to just be reviving. Like you got to bring a lot more than that. So that's been my struggle.
I agree, and I tried Ancora because I feel like Ancora would be a great one to bring in because she'll reset with the A1. She brings a cleanse, shields, which are important. But it's just the single target heal was killing me if too many of them were taking damage. The support, and which is why I feel like this new fusion might actually be really good for us, was definitely a problem for me. I think that was probably my biggest one. I think you're right. PJ.
So my biggest struggle right now has honestly been like the Viper form, personally, because I'm not running protection on my block buffs or block debuffs. I'm running Star Sage. I'm actually running him in Relentless. So depending
you.
on the thank you. Depending on the timing, it's tough because if I A2 with him and get up the block buffs, then he'll steal it, and then it can go out of whack, and his revive, like it will cancel your first person reviving, which can be kind of annoying. I don't know, he hits pretty hard, he steals your buffs right away. He's just been the one that's usually ends my runs the most out of all the forms. That's where it goes downhill for me.
Okay. Zero?
Yeah, I think, it's honestly just trying to fit it all in to a 5-person team. So it's kind of a little bit of everything, right? You try to pluck out Elytrion, Viper form kills you. You try to take out a Reviver, Ram form kills you. You get rid of Lydia, you sacrifice on a whole bunch of trials, and you don't get out as much damage. So that's really just the struggle of making the 5-team work.
Okay.
With the pieces, and really trying to. I'm not one y'all. If y'all are one chesting, kudos to you, because I'm the only one doing damage for me is Acrizia, and I feel like Burn doesn't do crap. Maybe that's just me, but.
Well, a lot of that was nerfed to only do certain damage on purpose.
Okay.
So
so Furion's the reviver and trying to do extra damage in turn meter with him, but he's just not getting it done for me. So
okay,
there you go.
What about when you just asked kudos to anybody who's one keying? Where are you guys currently with the damage? Are you one keying Nightmare? Are you one keying Ultra Nightmare? Ken?
Under 65 million Ultra Nightmare, 1 key full auto.
Show
No trial too.
Show off.
Trial version also, I just released a video. If you guys interested in 5 trial full auto, it's also there. Just basic Necmo. Actually, like super free to play friend at him, like just fusions and the guarantee champion, that's all, and the mission champion, that's all.
What about the gear?
Ultra Nightmare, of course you need to build them strong. Like
Is
360 speed on the Alva, like tanky Alva, protection, 9 piece.
Is a gear
But
free to
not
play
like-
though?
We are not Vale clan, man. Like, trust me, like you can see like way better gear than this, to be honest. Like, there is only +2 Marius, I believe, right now? Yeah, that's all. Only +2 Marius, that's
only
all.
a +2 Marius. Only
Bro, like
a
people have a +4, man.
Marius.
People have a +4 now, come on.
I don't have a +4. I've got a +0. Gestal, what about you?
I think I was close. We don't have Ultra Nightmare open yet, or maybe we do now, but we didn't last week. I was close to 4-1. I think I did just over 200 on Nightmare.
Okay.
I have a fully awakened Acrizia and Crushing Rend, so I was running her instead of my Marius is in kind of a hybrid build, and I don't have a 9-piece Slayer accessory piece for Marius.
Mm-hmm.
So I went with Acrizia over Marius. If I could get a little bit better build for Marius, I could probably up that up a little bit more.
Okay. I did use my Acrizia when I one key. So next point, but I did one key Nightmare. I had a full auto team. It was running consistent between like 85 to like 110 million damage. But it was just Acrizia soloed by herself as the damage dealer with her 6-star Crushing Rend. And I was like, oh, I'll just do my Ultra Nightmare closer to the weekend when I have time because I'm busy at work. That didn't happen, unfortunately. But PJ, what about you, man? Where are you standing at with the Chimera? Are you one king?
Yeah, I'm one keying. I'm trying to get the 8 billion Clash points a week. Right now I'm at maybe 7. So closing in on
7 billion a week.
Yeah, my Nightmare
Bro.
team, I didn't keep it, but I'm at 240, 4 billion overall.
Get a Star Sage.
Get a Star
Yeah, it's
Sage.
Necmo, Marius, Galathier, Teox, and Lydia.
Wait,
Okay, so-
Galatir?
Yeah.
Star Sage Galatir.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I was like, wait, what?
I thought you were talking about Galeus and I got excited,
No, not the cat. Not the cat.
So
Nah.
who's doing all the damage? Is that Teox?
Marius did 140, TX at 80.
Okay. Wow. And yeah. Well, with TX, that makes sense.
Do you have a 4-star blessing on your Marius?
Yeah, 5-star Marius.
Okay.
And he's also in Slayer. I found Slayer is better than. Oh, sorry, no, he's in Merciless. I found Merciless is better than Slayer
for
Marius.
For Marius?
9-piece.
Okay.
A lot of people are running 9-piece Slayer. I found a lot of CCs were saying to do him in 9-piece Slayer. I found 9-piece Merciless was better if you could get the 9-piece.
Okay. Zero. What about you?
It gives me a lot of y'all give me hope, I guess. I don't know. Yeah, I'm barely getting like 50 million on Nightmare right now, which is really bad. And just Severian's just not doing anything. 5 million damage, Acrizia 40 million. Yeah, so I gotta work on. Well, I have Teox, so maybe I gear up my Teox, and it sounds like I need to regear my Marius. But this goes back to kind of what I was saying, or what I've been learning now is if you don't have a 4-star, and again we might be getting crit capped or whatever on the boss, but like honestly having that 4-star makes a huge difference. Why I asked PJ that question.
Also, that
yeah.
isn't auto either. Like, I mean, it's mostly auto,
Yeah.
but I am manualing some of the, like, before they're turning into the different stages, I'm, like, manualing the last, like, turn and, like, saving my abilities and saving, like, that stuff. So it's
Okay.
not full auto.
So you're min-maxing.
Do you have a trial, by the way, PJ?
Yeah, like 10 trials.
Oh yeah, that can
Oh, wow.
definitely boost your damage.
Okay.
And I'm also getting them all before the second half of the
Yeah.
rotation.
Earlier you get is better.
Yeah.
Okay. I feel personally for me, I feel like I'm not gonna worry about getting the trials because there is way too much shit that is not working right. And God knows, you know, once, like Ken said, once we get those other relics that can be crafted and we start testing some of this shit out, who knows what's gonna be out there. I mean, we might actually, I think we might be able to keep provoking the boss, you know, like the Hydra heads. That was.
I mean,
was-
bro, like that was so stupid. Like it was broken everything, and I opened my shard that day, right? And I didn't see 2x active, and I'm like, maybe it's also broke to the shard system. Maybe 2x was disabled for a couple of hours until they fixed it. You know, I want refund, man. Give my 25 engine shard.
We could be stunning the boss, so we don't know. But personally, for me, I feel like I'm not gonna worry about the trials whatsoever. I'm gonna try to get my 1 key, get out, and not really care about, like, again, from the personal rewards, we're getting 1 gemstone. Some of the rewards that we're getting from here, let me see if I can pull mine up, but did you guys actually get anything good out of your chest this week, Ken?
Yeah, I crafted golden elixir, epic relic stone. It's basically whenever your HP drop below 50%, it's give you like 10% HP. I guess that's not bad.
Okay.
The other one, I don't even remember either, to be honest. I got a 1 rare and I don't remember that, yeah.
So
Some cool gemstone too. I got some like Terminator increased gemstone. It's like increasing Terminator effect by 10%, so that's not
Yeah.
bad.
So this is like the stuff that I got, and other than I think I was able to craft 1 rare relic, really was not kind of, for me at least, worth putting all the time and effort into it. Gestal, what about you? Did you get anything good?
Actually, I haven't pulled mine. I'm gonna pull mine on stream today. I'm gonna be doing Chimera for a couple hours, so try and see what I get and forge it up and see if I can put something on someone. Get a little extra action in live arena tonight.
Okay. PJ, what about you?
Yeah, I got a few good gemstones. I got a mythical, the Undead Bulwark. Every time the wearer is revived, decreases all incoming damage by 10% up to 30%, which is alright. And then I got another gemstone. Whenever the wearer HP drops below 50%, has a 10% chance to reduce the cooldown of a random active skill. I did craft a few relics too. I crafted one of the Malefic Talon. I actually got it up to 9. It gave me an extra 21% crit damage and 900 HP. I threw that on Marius. And I don't know. I kind of disagree with you. I think trials are pretty important, and I think even though it's not like a lot,
trials are important to get the crafting material, and if you're gonna go for the Chimera Clash, but let's be a little honest here. How many of us are going to, because ideally at the end of this, it's all about pushing more for arena, right? That's where most of these are going to be useful for.
I mean, just useful for everywhere.
I guess.
If you're getting plus whatever on crit damage, that makes a big difference, right? So.
Well, yeah, okay. So, like,
what's your crit damage on your Marius right now, PJ?
With the thing?
Yeah.
354.
And then does it go up when we get live arena things where you get ignored 20% defense? Is crit damage one of them too?
Yep, 30%.
Probably.
Another 30, so you could be like almost 400% crit damage.
Yeah.
And ignoring 20%. Yeah, so I mean, that's going to make a huge difference. We need to get that in the game, I guess, with how hard this effort is. I censored myself, Blazing. You should be happy.
Well, I get that. But what's that going to do for us as opposed to the people that are already +4s going? I mean, I've seen Mariuses out there that are like 350 speed with like 400 crit damage already. You know? What's that going to add to them? So
we got fun and games. I'm going to smack you down with my horse and you're going to cry.
I literally got one-shotted, okay, through my Alaz's stone skin when I went up against, I forget who it was, but I went up against him in live arena. He had Shuzen, he had Marius. I let the Marius go through and he literally one-shotted me right here. Where is it? Right here. CHQ 12345. His Marius one-shotted my Alaz through stone skin. I was like, what the hell? What the hell?
Issue maybe.
Well, and I think
maybe it's another bug.
Yeah, I'm ready for the resets on that too. Not to bring up another topic, but I'm ready for that. I'm sure Gestal's ready for it too.
I don't think just because they're gonna get them doesn't mean that you shouldn't get them too, or shouldn't try to.
What I'm saying, it's not like I'm gonna focus like working on the trials. My biggest thing right now is, you know what? I'm just gonna go through. I'm gonna get my 1 key, get my reward from the chest, and that's it. I'm not gonna, how many trials can I complete? Like I feel like that's just too irrelevant right now, because how many materials can you guys craft at this point in time? Even if you get both chests, let's say you're lucky and you craft 2, right? Like,
well, we're looking at very small. Like, we have to look like long term. Like each week, if you don't do it, they're gonna add up into when you do months and months and months of missing them.
Fair, but again, it's at the end is where are you going to use this kind of stuff? Like, is it really going to change the way I play the game? Because I'm not as competitive as I was in the past, right? So that's another thing, I guess, is because I'm just not as competitive anymore. I don't really care if we win or lose. I just care about doing, I feel like the personal rewards that they, not in Chimera, but the personal rewards that they added in Hydra couldn't really, like, I don't really care if we win or lose anymore, because I'll get my accessories eventually through this. And that's kind of the way I feel. It's like, I'll get my stuff through the personal rewards, so I'll keep working towards that. But there's no point in me being aggressively, pushing towards that competitive part of the game anymore.
And no, but it's also like we've had Hydra in the game for a while now. Like, we have a good stock of protection, stone skin at the moment. Like, obviously more is better of the accessories, but
well, it's the accessories right now that are the thing, is because that's what's giving us that 9-piece set. It's not, eventually every week you'll get your 3 keys in, you'll get enough pieces that are good, but it's the accessories that really kind of count. So
right. I don't know, I said wouldn't overlook relics.
I'm not saying to overlook them. I'm just saying, like, for myself personally, I'm not in a competitive mentality where I feel like I need to actually worry about the trials. I'm going to worry more about trying to get this key to be a 1 key so I can get the top chest.
Of course.
That's-
1 key is definitely the most important thing.
That's all I kind of care about this at this point in time. And then, you know, once I get that covered, maybe I'll see about putting, you know, some of this stuff in there. But until that happens, until I'm comfortable with that, I don't think it's worth it. Because again, week 1, this is what we have. Zero, sorry. I know you've been waiting there patiently.
No, I got to say my piece. No, you're good.
Okay.
On the relic. I mean, it just is what it is. I think on kind of all of it, I think it's just another piece of power creep. But the one thing I'll say based on what you just said though, is it sounds like you have let the Plarium FOMO pass you by. So you're not getting FOMO'd into oblivion to go chase these things down and min max them out, right?
Nope.
That's probably a good state for most of the community to get in.
You know,
and I already feel like the top tier people just smoke you anyway. This is gonna make them smoke you better.
Yep. It's just great. I chase that. I go for it. Once I acquire it, there's just going to be another level of power creep that I need to, you know, chase afterwards.
Oh.
So it makes no point in going, spending my resources, spending my time where I could just do other things that I actually enjoy in the game, right? I could overlook the whole account progression as opposed to this one particular area. So, and the last thing I want to talk about with the Chimera Clash is this. I was one of the few that thought, hey, I'm going to have that one extra day. I'm going to have Thursday to do my Chimera key because you know what? It's Christmas. I got to be out there. I got to work all day. I come home Thursday, I sit down and boom, I get this shit. Oh man, and I wasn't the only one. There were a lot of people. I got some DMs like the video I released earlier today talking about this. A lot of people were in the comments like, yeah dude, I was the same way. I was thinking I was gonna do it Thursday last minute, try to work my keys through. And why on God's green earth do we need 24 hours to figure out the point system, which is already done? I just don't get it. Ken, are you for this or against it? Did anyone you know have this issue?
I mean, I think the reason they do that, they just want to give us like free time to change the clan or stuff like that, you know? That's what I'm guessing.
Yeah.
But they said we can't collect the rewards until after this is over.
No, like if you want to change clans now, you lose basically a week in Hydra. This would kind of give you a chance not to lose that week.
Right, but you can't, if I'm not mistaken, the way it was, I understood, was that if Chimera was not reset, you weren't collecting the rewards. So if you left the clan and you already did your Chimera keys with the other clan, you aren't going to be able to collect your rewards.
You're screwed either way.
Yeah, exactly. It makes
so it
absolutely
doesn't
no
help
sense. Yeah, it makes absolutely no sense.
And they also didn't do it for Hydra or Clan Boss either.
Right. Most of the other game modes have like a 2-3 hour. I think Siege is the only one that has like a 6 hour or something like that. Which I get because that's got a lot more things taken into account, but this has absolutely nothing. How many of you guys actually had this issue, chat, where you waited till the last minute to do your key and then boom, you were kind of SOL'd? Gestal, what about you?
Well, that's the good thing about streaming every day, 5 hours a day. I have people in chat constantly telling me if I'm doing something wrong, and so I was told that I needed to do it by Wednesday night, so I got it done on Wednesday night.
Okay.
Unfortunately, but I was ready to do it on Thursday too, frankly. So I could see how anyone else would have made that judgment.
So your viewers kept you on check.
Yeah, pretty much.
PJ, what about you?
Yeah, I got it done earlier, but we did notice in stream that the key reset and like the Chimera Clash reset was like off by like a day or something. We're like,
you can see right here. I still got my key, and then it says it resets in like 12 hours.
Yeah, so we
Yeah.
were really confused about that. And then yeah, I guess this is what happens. But yeah, we noticed it, but I mean, I know you did it and some other people it happened to, but yeah, it's not ideal.
Yeah. Priest Guardian, I have put the offer on there. I know Sundays are his busy day. We've talked about it quite a few times. So, I really hope that we do get him on.
Who?
Cruisin.
That'd be awesome.
He would. Zero, what about you?
Yeah, no, I burned through mine right at the very beginning, so I didn't even know this was a thing. So I'm glad I'm tuning in to the Blazin podcast with the Knights of Teleria to learn this piece of information that you can only find here. Ding, ding, ding. So yeah, no, honestly, I didn't know this was a thing. So this is news to me, and this is why we do this, right? To learn from people's experience and avoid mistakes. But it's because it sounds like they always put in mistakes. It makes sense that it would allow for some adjustment, but yeah, then if you get screwed from the pot anyway, then that would hurt you too. So
Right. I mean, usually for Hydra, it's the matchmaking that takes the time. It's not the who wins, right? And it's just clear right here. So I don't understand. It's just I literally I was so mad. I DM'd both of the YouTube community managers, and I was just like, this is absolute bullshit. Like my video yesterday would have been a lot worse if I hadn't if I had recorded it the day that I saw this. Oh man, I was rip shit. Luckily though, I gave myself some time because my voice, as you guys can hear, is like crap. That said, overall first week of Chimera, how are we feeling? Scale from 1 to 5. Are we happy with it? Are we, okay? 1 being great, 5 being 1 being bad, 5 being great. Ken.
Or I personally enjoy the boss. It's a very nice design as well, to be honest. Like, it's quite a fun to fight with him. The most part I really like it is 65 turn. Like, you don't have to spend like hours like the Hydra. I'm big fan of that, to be honest. You get your damage and boom, you are done. And yeah, I don't like relics and the gemstone. I wish they just release like another accuracy and speed gear instead, like they always do. Because relics and the gemstone are extremely powerful, man. It's going to make like power creep is another level, so.
Yep. I agree. I think the boss has great mechanics. I love it. It's challenging. It gets me thinking of which champions I can use. I'm not a fan that it's just enemy max HP hitters right now. I feel like there's got to be some little other healthy mix, but enemy max HP hitters have been kind of put in the corner for most PvE content. That is not, Fire Knight, right? Gestal, what about you?
Yeah, I'll go with the 4 out of 5. I guess I was just expecting more out of the Great Void than Chimera, kind of sitting at the bottom of it, I guess. But yeah, 4 out of 5. It's not the coolest thing they've done, but it's certainly interesting. And like I said, I think the trials is really what will give it a little bit more longevity versus kind of like Hydra and Demon Lord.
Okay. PJ?
4.5 out of 5. I mean, there's always room for a little bit of improvement, but generally, I really enjoying it. I like the boss, the fight itself, the mechanics. It's only 65 turns. Don't like the bugs and stuff that are happening. That's Teleria. That's not necessarily like the Chimera's fault. Can't blame the Chimera for that. But no, overall, I think it's a pretty good game mode so far, and I've been enjoying it.
Okay. Zero?
I'm gonna be controversial. I'm gonna say honestly 2 out of 5. For me personally. I mean, bugs aside, right? And then the new rewards and all that aside, but I just feel like it just doesn't feel right. It doesn't feel fully baked out. And we've touched upon it today. I don't know, because again, if you have 27 trials, but you're doing good if you get 7, 8, or 9 of them, I just feel like the design is good, but it's not. It just doesn't feel right. Whether that's getting a 6th champion in to get more trials done, or put out more damage, or you need more realistic ways to accomplish the trials or something. I don't know. It just doesn't. It doesn't feel fully baked out. Now, that being said, and I wasn't there when Hydra was first released. My understanding is Hydra was very much different than the fight prior to this previous nerf. But like, Hydra has had multiple iterations now, right? So maybe give it a few months and they look at this and maybe they do add a 6th champion, or maybe they adjust the trials to make them a little bit more doable or something like that. I still think, looking on paper, getting the 8 billion sounds like some people are able to do it. Like PJ might be able to get the 8 billion in 1 week. So, if people are able to do it, then they may not adjust it. But it just doesn't. It feels like the threshold is extremely high, and it just doesn't feel like you can get it with in-game accounts. Is how I honestly feel about it. If that makes sense.
Right.
So I'm going to give it a 2 out of 5 with room for a lot of improvement.
Okay. So again, back to I love the boss mechanics. I love the fact that it's different from everything else, that we're able to use other particular champions. We're not locked into, these are the best ones, except for the enemy max HP hitters. I think the trials, even though they're challenging, I think, again, as long as we get some rebalance of some of these other champions to be brought up to the, to be brought up to the stepping plate, I feel like that would be, it'll be for the good of the game, or the good of the game mode. I would love to use like my Solars or something else like that. I'd love to bring my Carnage in here to be able to block or lock his active skills and stuff like that. So I do feel like the trials are going to give us a little more variety of champions to go for. Just the overall, the way that this was released is what kind of gets me the most. And so I'm going with a 3.5. Again, the clash shouldn't have happened, right? You should have given us time to get it out. And then I really have a sore spot because I ended up getting the Chimera quest day 1 when it launched, and I had to do a Chimera key. That was that right
Just
there.
Twisting the knife.
That's just jab it right in there. Although I want to ask you guys a question, because Priest Guardian put a question up here on the YouTube side, and I'm gonna rephrase it a little bit. But we know Plarium is quick to act on some things and pretty slow to act on some other things. What do you think if Aristocrat would do if they release a slot machine and it was bugged in the casino and everybody wins? What do you guys think that they would do? Ken?
They'd get pulled right out.
They are going to get trouble on the low, right? I think. Yeah, they are going to get a big trouble, actually.
If it was bugged and everybody was winning?
Yeah.
Okay. That's Gestal, what do you think they would do?
I think they would have it fixed immediately.
Yeah.
PJ?
Yeah, I think they would say, sorry, there's a bug in the system, like, this is invalid, please return everything, do not walk away, do not leave your seats, put the money back, and fix it, immediately.
Okay, Zero?
Yeah, they would totally surround it with security guards and stiff arm anybody that got close to it.
I feel like they would just shut down the whole casino for the day. They'd be like, all right, guys, we're done. We're over with. We're going to test everything because we obviously didn't test the right way the first time. So, again, Plarium, I don't know. You got to test things more properly. Like, you can't tell me with the update that you did, everything was tested. Literally out of the gate, week 1. It's just been bad.
And it's basic blessings.
Great point. He says casinos actually reserve the right not to pay you with any win. So they would let people win and then they would not pay them and then make them leave.
There's also basic blessings too in like basic areas of the game, which is like the worst part.
Yeah. All right, Lady Noelle. We finally got to see what her kit looks like. And I think overall, She is definitely great. I think she is going to slide into definitely my Chimera team. The way she plays, I'm not a big fan of some of the things in here, but I think mostly because the revive has to be the strongest in the game, right? But let's go ahead. Let's break down her skill kit. Let's see, is she worth, and do we see any changes that should happen? Her A1 has a 100% chance, right, of placing a block buffs for 2 turns. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think there's another champion right now that does it for 2 turns. I think I might not even see one that does it for 1 turn on an A1, right? Most of them usually have like a decreased defense or a decreased attack, or maybe a decreased speed. Also decreases the target's turn meter by 20% when they are under a freeze. I guess they're trying to play that off with the A1 from Sir Nick because he has a freeze that is unresistible. These effects cannot be resisted if Sir Nick is on the same team. Overall, I think the A1 is pretty solid. I look at it more for, and I guess this is my mentality as clan boss, because that's where I feel most people focus when they get some of these fusions. But overall, I think it's pretty good. I would say a 4 out of 5 because I like it. I think the only thing I would really love to change is that it just doesn't require any accuracy at all. She is a Void Legendary Champion. It should not require any accuracy, even without Sir Nick on the team. But Ken, what are your thoughts on the A1?
She need accuracy. If there is no Sir Nicholas.
Yes.
Yeah. Actually, once you mention it, that can be very, very strong because especially currently on the Hydra, block buff is one of the debuff you guys needed. Almost every second they reborn, because so this is how is the Hydra working right now, right? You need to deal damage to kill them, and you still need to continue deal damage to kill them after you kill them, cut their head, right? And there is a high chance, super high chance, Poison Cloud keeps spamming with the full cooldown reset, like it doesn't have any cooldown, and your most of us using only one champion, right, for the block buff, and like Ugo for example, and that's not enough because her skill is going to be on the cooldown. Like he's going to reborn before she got a cooldown. Unless you have a champion like Sufrion, Sierra, which is pay to get champion, she can be your secondary block buff champion, which is only A1 skill, 100% chance. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, agreed. Hydra is going to be a great place for this. PJ.
Yeah, I think it's a really good A1. Void 2, so it won't be weak hitting, which is a really nice. I do agree it would be nice if she would have had it can't be resisted normally in her kit, and then maybe with Sir Nick it's a higher turn meter reduction or something.
I think that would be good, yeah.
But yeah, overall a 100% chance of block buffs is really solid, kind of like what Ken said. Also like the Wrath Head popping up a lot, you really want block buffs on him. The Poison Head. So yeah, I think it's a pretty strong A1.
Okay. Gestal?
Yeah, I think it's a great A1, man. The block buff is super huge. It's single target, but that could be helpful in a ton of different circumstances. So real big. I think it's a great A1. Yeah.
Okay.
Chimera too, I think will be good.
Yeah, because the Chimera in the the main form does bring increased speed on it, so block debuffs would definitely help out with that. Go ahead, Zero.
Sorry.
Yeah, so a couple things. One, just with her kit in general, like she's just gonna be brought down by how crappy Sir Nick is, right? He just doesn't really hit hard. So I like because again, you're looking at having to use 2 slots for this to be irresistible or whatever, and obviously he's bringing the freeze. Would be interesting in a blender comp. But the other thing I just thought of, because if you are running both and it is irresistible, but it's only on one champion, you could use a spreader, maybe like a Loki or a Vizier, and the irresistible block debuffs would also spread, which could be you know. But then now you're looking at 3 slots, and like, what are you really doing with that? So
yeah.
who knows? There might be new content that comes, and you need some crazy stuff like that. But
I was actually thinking for the Chimera as well too, because Cernic does have an unkillable and a shield. And there is a trial that requires you to take some shield damage on. Again, though, he's so 2019.
Unkillable's good against Ram as well.
That is true, yes. All right, moving on to the A2. Target an ally. If the targeted ally is under a sheep debuff, removes it. So works like Shuzen's, I think A2, I think it is. If the target ally is not under a sheep, removes all debuffs from them instead. Pretty good. I feel like this part right here, it should just be everybody, right? I don't like the single target one. It just doesn't feel right. If the target ally is not under a sheep debuff, heals them by 50% of this champion's max HP. Also heals all allies equal to 50% of any surplus heal. If the target is Sir Nick, instantly activate his A3, which is Goodwill. That gives you an unkillable, and I believe it's a heal. Then places a 30% increased speed buff on all allies for 3 turns. So here, the only thing, maybe it's just me, I would be willing to give up the heal, right, on everybody and the single target for an AoE remove all buffs. For an AoE cleanse, I feel like that would just be way better for almost any content in the game. But Ken, what do you think about the A2?
I definitely agree with you, man. Considering she's Void Legendary Champion, you know, like she definitely need like AoE cleanse it, you know. Even she's not custom block debuff, at least give us like AoE cleanse. Keep still can be like only one target, you know, only one target, but AoE cleanse would be actually make her super strong on the Chimera. At the moment we are missing block debuff if we are decide to use her for this scenario, and the cleanse obviously. Arena wise, yes, Shuzan, like you mentioned, has a single ship cleanse, right? But nobody using Shuzan for that role,
Right?
I mean, I never say because Shuzan teams are fast. So like if you are fast, I mean, but I actually like her passive skill. You know, Shuzan is cleans the ship and she doesn't give any Tormentor field, right?
Right.
If I'm not mistaken.
It's almost better to keep them in the sheep, honestly.
Yeah,
Right.
at least she's like, if she cleans the ship or the ship is just, if you get rid of the ship, doesn't matter how, you are going to get 50% Tormentor. Maybe that can be a little bit help on the arena. But Sir Nicholas part, this actually interesting because that skill not going on the cooldown. If you if you force to use Sir Nicholas A3 skill with this skill, guys, this skill not going on the cooldown. So when your Sir Nicholas got a turn, he can actually cast this unkillable buff again. But Sir Nicholas is so bad, man. Like I actually check his multiplier. Like his A2 multiplier attack enemy is 0.25, which is RX A1 0.22. Compared him, you know,
Jeez.
and the RX A2 is 0.35. Like, guys, don't try Sir Nicholas on the arena. Like, I actually checked some. I'm sorry, I keep saying talking today, but I also checked some test server video about the Fusion champion. Everybody use her with the Fusion Sir Nicholas. No, this is a mistake. You guys need to try her alone because you are literally like nerfing your team. You know, Sir Nicholas is terrible. Like, it doesn't give you any benefit. Like, it's terrible, guys. Like, don't do that. You know.
Right.
And sorry, last thing, it's a confirmed Plarium is not planned to buff Sir Nicholas anytime soon, guys. It's also confirmed. So yeah.
Ooh. Yeah, no. Sir Nicholas is just very, very, he was great back in the day when we, you know, most of this stuff wasn't around. He was great for Doom Tower, single-handedly carried me through hard mode Doom Tower with the unkillable and the shields. But very, very underwhelming nowadays, right? He did make a little bit of a comeback for Arena back when Baron used to be the meta. But, you know, kind of underwhelming right now. That said, I think it was Darn that just said, for this, I feel like most of us is going to be, to use this skill, you're probably going to want to use it on manual, and you're going to want to heal somebody that is pretty much almost healed up. and then be able to use the splash damage to get an adequate heal through everybody else, right? So that's my feeling on that. I feel like just a full out cleanse would have just been better than the heal. Gestal, what about you?
Yeah, I think they could have still set it up where you only remove one sheep, but it was like one sheep or like an AoE cleanse or heal, whatever. I think that would have probably been better. An AoE sheep cleanse would have been probably a little too
Not
OP,
an
though.
AoE sheep cleanse. It's still just cleanse the one person, but instead of
Yeah,
removing the debuffs, if there's no sheep out there on one person, it just removes it on everybody. Because again, then it would be a little.
No, yeah, no, I'm agreeing. I'm agreeing with you. Yeah, I think that would have. She's void, right? Like so, like this is so basically this is what this ability does. It makes her not super viable for PvE, in my opinion. Like this could work out. You could get a good cleanse, maybe a good splash heal, but you need the AoE cleanse for Hydra, for Chimera, for whatever else you might need it for. This seems to pigeonhole her into arena, in my opinion. Mostly because it's better for the sheep. It's a much better sheep removal than shoes ends. And yeah, I don't know. Yeah, and I agree as well with Kenpachi, bro. Like, why? Like, they were probably told you got to do it with Sir Nick, show it off with Sir Nick. It's part of whatever. But she's great by herself, man. Forget the whole Sir Nick stuff.
Right. PJ, what about you?
Yeah, for her being a void, I feel like this is a little underwhelming. I'm not super familiar with her passive, but I feel like if this would have some type of turn meter boost as well in it, it'd be nice. Yeah, I think even without Sir Nick, or with Sir Nick is pretty good because you can do like the unkillable by themselves, just those two, which could be good for some people for PvE, clan boss maybe. But yeah, no, I feel like it's missing something. Either like a full cleanse, like you were mentioning, or some maybe turn meter boost. It's okay, but also like what Gestal said is kind of making her more pigeonholed into that PvP, where you would like to see her in PvP and PvE as well.
Right. Zero.
Yeah, I think. I mean, y'all bring up all good valid points. And obviously they want you. It looks like to use it for PvP, the way this is. But I think honestly, this could just unlock PvE for people that are struggling. You know, if they can somehow pull off getting her and they get the Saint Nick, they can basically do any content in the game. And I worry about Armand's because he is this thing right here. I just hope that this doesn't unlock some weird Armand's thing where it's like you permanently have unkillable. And now, granted, there are the Rhodoses and the Nutcrackers, and I think it's funny, you know, Nutcracker has, you know, kill through killable and stuff, and I think Helicath does too, right? But yeah, so that is I worry that this could be really powerful, and knowing Plarium, they you know, throw all this stuff in the kit and they're like, oh cool, and you can just basically turbo spam Sir Nick's unkillable and you have an unkillable team that they can't be killed by anything. So you might be able to throw that in most boss battles and never lose, and you're good to go.
Well,
so
that,
I don't know.
that might not actually be a bad idea. Now that I'm thinking about it, you're kind of right on that, because it doesn't go on cooldown. And let's say on most content, you build them at a 4-3 or 4-2.
Well, it
4-3.
activates it on Sir Nick. So
Right.
Sir Nick can use it. It can be on cooldown for Sir Nick, and she can still activate it. So if you
Right.
speed to them where she's firing him off, you know, before the cooldown happens, and then he gets his cooldown back, boom. So you can have an unkillable team with this combo. I don't know if y'all saw that or not, but that's what it's looking like to me. And you can throw it in Sand Devil, Iron Twins.
Well, you can't throw it in
whatever.
Sand Devils because it ignores unkillable, and so does Iron Twins. So maybe some of the
It
boss
doesn't
ones.
ignore unkillable?
Yep.
Oh, he does. I'm sorry.
Yep.
I'm thinking the other one.
Yeah,
Helicath
Paragon. Remember Paragon?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think the
Okay,
AI
I
will
remember.
be good enough to target Sir Nick?
Well, so apparently it's broken and it's by default supposed to target Sir Nick on auto.
So,
But if it's not, then then that screws up auto runs. But
Plarium tested approved.
yeah, exactly.
All right, let's look at the A3 Heartkeeper. Revives all dead allies with 50% HP and 50% turn meter, one of the best ones so far. Then has a 75% chance, puts up to 100 of placing a freeze debuff on all enemies for 1 turn. Will place the freeze debuff even if there are no dead allies. This debuff cannot be resisted or blocked if Sir Nick is on the same team on a 3-turn cooldown.
Gross.
I don't care about the freeze, honestly. I will substitute that for anything else. I don't really care. Get rid of it. She's not going to be used for my arena, but the 3-turn heal or the 3-turn revive, that I think is the strongest thing in her kit. And again, strongest revive in the game. Crazy. Ken, what are we thinking about the A3, dude?
There is lots of things to talk about it. Actually, there's a positive things, there's a negative things. First, she will use this skill even there is no dead ally. Maybe it's a good thing. If you are thinking the user in the PvE content, like Doom Tower for example, she can literally control the wave, right? Triton cooldown, AoE freeze at the same time, right? And if somebody dead on your team, she can also bring them back. So if you are early mid game, guys, this is huge champion to help you on the progress to the game. Triton cooldown, first time we are getting Triton cooldown, AoE revive, and this is actually solid revive because 50% HP and 50% Terminator field. This is not bad revive. Arena wise, yes, good. Freeze part can be good, can be bad, depends how many ship enemy have, right? So this is like you try to revive your ally, boom, you gotta ship yourself after that. That's not cool, to be honest. Pinpoint set can be help you, but pinpoint is not gonna be there forever, you know. So cannot be resisted, blocked. This is making some confusion on the people. Cannot be blocked means it doesn't bypass Stone Skin, guys. So Stone Skin still have a 50-50. No, actually you cannot place a freeze debuff on the Stone Skin.
Right.
Because it's impossible. Yeah. If they let you to place freeze debuff in the future, yes, but this cannot be blocked part. If the Sir Nicholas on the same team, probably can work. But at the moment, this is not how the freeze debuff working against the Stone Skin.
Yep.
Very strong.
Gestal.
Yeah, I mean, this is probably the ability that's the most exciting
Bless you.
for her. Yeah, sorry.
No,
Bless
thank
you
you.
there, Blazing.
I muted myself so the chat can hear that.
Okay. I should have kept going. Yeah, this is the most exciting one though. 3-turn cooldown, AoE revive, 50% HP, 50% turn meter. Like, think about Dutchy, man. Dutchy gives you no turn meter. That's horrible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Four
So
turn.
like this is, and that's a 4-turn. Yeah. So this is like 50% turn meter is so good, man. It is so good. Yeah, I think the freeze portion of it, if you want to kind of try to avoid it, I guess you just build like 0 accuracy and maybe, maybe that'll do it. But it could also be to your benefit. You could lean into it and try to make her be a freeze champ. So it's interesting, man. This is the best ability. This with the passive, I think, are kind of the best things she's got going.
I think when we build her, just by default between the blessing and most of our great halls and stuff like that, we're gonna have enough accuracy for Doom Tower and below. Won't really have anything further up unless we build for it. And we'll probably get the nukers in some arena compositions, but the freeze, I just would love to just see it go. Would just love to see it go. PJ.
Agreed. Yeah, I get the whole like winter theme with Sir Nick and her with the freeze, but I don't know. I kind of the revives like also like Uko's his revive that will proc even if there's no one dead.
Yeah.
It's nice, but it also can keck you as well. This one is a 3-turn cooldown, so you'll get it back around it pretty quickly. So that is the one good thing about it. But yeah, I wish it would have not had that. And honestly, the revive would have been really nice just on its own. Just it being 3-turn cooldown. The freeze is good though, like for some PVE. Control stuff like you guys mentioned could be really strong, especially on a 3-turn cooldown. You'll have her going really fast, so it's pretty good. But yeah, it's good and bad. It can keck you and also it could save you as well. So I don't know, it's all right. But I do really like the 3-turn cooldown, full revive, 50% HP, 50% turn meter is amazing.
Yeah, I just feel like polymorph is just too much of a problem for this right now. You know.
Yeah.
Zero.
Yeah, so y'all say all that. I'm going to be controversial again. That is scary good with the buff to Gurgo. So if you want to pull up Gurgo and read his kit again, he gets an extra turn on freeze, and he allows for all your allies to do bonus damage with his passive. He's Ognorin and Gurgo, and of course he's Void. So check out his passive right there. So increases damage inflicted by allies, the enemies under freeze by 25%. Yeah, and then he does that, and then if you check out his A2,
Removes all debuffs. Has a 100% chance on a 4-turn cooldown and grants an extra turn. Damn.
Yeah, so then he can go into his A3. Yeah. And so so I don't know. I'm just this is just what I'm seeing on paper. And people, ever since they buffed him last month or how long it's been, I've been facing him in Live Arena. I don't know if y'all been facing him in Live Arena.
Me too. I was like, wait, what?
And he is smoking the pee out of me right now, right? So I don't know. You throw Sir Nick, Gurgo, and her together, and they're all void, and you can have some wild control, and she's placing the freeze through block buffs, right? Block debuffs. This could get stupid real quick, right? So I don't know. It's a fringe team. It's very niche, but could be silly to help combat the control meta or out control the control meta right now. I don't know.
Rosaria is like Cernic, Gurgo, Noel, and Armands. And then Dorn
or add
says,
Odin to the group.
Add Odin, yeah. I'm like, yeah, no.
That sounds like a disgusting. I don't have Gurgo personally, but I would consider, if I did have Gurgo, to maybe try this out.
I do, and I think I may try that out.
All right.
But yeah, let's move on to the passive. Decreases the speed of all enemies under freeze by 10%. Now I don't know, so this isn't like a decreased speed debuff, so I don't know if this lands through the whole fight. When a sheep debuff expires on an ally, fills their turn meter by 50%. So I guess they're trying to kind of counter Armands a little bit with this. And then if multiple champions are on the same team, only one of these skills can be active. If this is pure, just completely happens, 10% of your speed, that I think could be kind of broken, right? Because you're talking at 400 speed, if you're going to lose 30%, what is that?
10%.
Sorry,
But
10%.
still,
That's 40 speed.
Yeah.
Right? If you're going to completely lose that right off the start, that's big, right? Ken, what do you think?
This is a very nice passive skill. This is where she's better than Shuzan for the cleanse the ship, because, I mean, Arma's existence still probably going to make her passive skill useless, to be honest. But still, like, after you get a ship, 50% Tormentor right away, better than nothing, I think. She's enough for that position, against the ship meta for the PvP. I don't think she is enough for that, but maybe like the Zero mentioned, Gurgo, you can actually make some nice, synergy with them together. Than the Sir Nicholas, actually, she's definitely going to be better with the Gurgo than the Sir Nicholas. She's cheating you, sir. Just telling you. And I actually like the ship part on there. That's
I
why
was-
actually I'm going for her.
I was just thinking, Tormund, because Tormund freezes with buffs and turn meter. Pair
Tormund can
them
also
together.
snake.
Yeah, I was actually just thinking because the moment they go, they're gonna get that. If that 10% is through the whole battle, which I feel like is how it should work, because it's not a debuff. I think that would be kind of crazy. Gestal, what do you think?
Well, this definitely makes you want to have someone with freeze if it's not her putting it out there. Because it's almost like being sheeped because your speed's being reduced, but you're frozen. So yeah, I think it's great. I'm more excited about the getting the Terminator if you're getting out of sheep, because that to me is the worst thing about being sheep. You come out with no Terminator and half health. So at least I would fill the Terminator there. Man, I'd be sheeped all day, so I kind of like that.
I wonder if Big Papa Jock is going to be happy with this champion coming in. Will that solve his sheep problem? PJ.
Pretty solid. After reading this, I still wish there was some type of turn meter boost on the A2, even with this. Maybe for like the whole team turn meter boost or something. But yeah, it's pretty strong being able to get your sheep champion coming out at 50%, get him going, getting him started. Because like the worst is you come out of sheep and then you immediately get like debuffed or CC'd again, and you're just like stuck on that trend. So getting that turn meter could get you in the right direction. And then the decreased speed is nice. Yeah, usually you use freeze against like fast teams, go first teams. So just slowing them down even more is great.
Okay. And Zero?
Yeah, again, it's gonna be interesting, and yeah, Ken brings up a valid point. Gurgo is gonna be much better than Sir Nick, but maybe you can find a way to use all three if that works. But what I will say is just reading that, and y'all brought valid points on the A2, putting out the freeze itself, and that's gonna get her sheeped. I think if they give us a 5-star soul for her, is probably imperative to get that resistance. So I think if you're going to build her like that, super high HP, defense, and then resistance, just in general, just my final thoughts on that.
And to your point, I hope that they do give us a 5-star soul and don't pull the same bullshit they did with Stork, because I'm gonna be mad. That pissed me off quite a bit. I'm not gonna lie. One person getting the soul for a champion like that would be huge for a lot of people. Let's take
I do find it interesting, just real fast, that they are putting in these little champions here. You know, they got the Ash Arrow, you had the beard dude, the one of the fusions two back, and now this one. All of them have this subtle like counter to Armand's, but I feel like Armand's is just so broken, like he just laughs at their counters.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, he's just going to sheep whoever, and okay, fine, you get a 50% boost. Is that going to be enough to let him not go again and restun you or whatever? So, I don't know.
Yeah. Nos, that is true. They don't have to offer the souls, but they've been doing it so far where it's kind of expected, like the fusions, and we've grown to count on them. So, again, that's just my feeling. Like, they put it out there. Just don't change it. Make it consistent, because these, with the fusion elements and the souls being such a big part for endgame content. Again, the way I phrase this, and I hope a lot of people don't take it too personal. There is not a single piece of content in this game that I'm not going to be able to take on, but that doesn't apply for 90% of the community or 95% of the community out there that is really needing some of this stuff. You know what I mean? Some fusions, they really shouldn't. Like, Jeroboam, I don't think really needed a soul because he wasn't a great champion. But a champion like the last one...
They still gave it to us.
They did. But the last one... really was good, and I feel like people would have really used a Stork blessing. Let's look at Sir Nick here real quick, right? Her partner in crime He definitely needs a rework. My question to you is going to be, how much of a rework are we talking? Complete rework or just some slight boosts, maybe alterations? And if so, what would you guys want to change on him? PJ.
Tough. Me first. Okay, so I don't have him. I heard he used to be pretty good in like Arena back in the day. It seems like maybe just a little bit of a boost in the multipliers, get him to hit a little bit harder. Yeah, I don't know if he needs a full rework. I haven't messed him with him yet. I'm about to get him with this free or in-game rewards, but yeah, I really don't know too much about him as far as in-game use.
I think Fern is got
I
a
was laughing at
great. Efren's got a great description. It's Cernic is a solid mid-tier epic. I agree with him on this one. I don't agree on a G-Nut nerf, but I agree with him on this one. He's definitely very underwhelming. He works great for Clan Boss. Was actually part of my first unkillable team for Clan Boss, but yeah, definitely. I feel like back in the day when stage 20s were the thing, if you had him, you were good. You were golden through everything. Now, he's, I think, probably he'll shield your Volt guards. Zero. What about? Oh, sorry. So you're just saying just increases multipliers a little bit?
Yeah.
Okay. Zero. What about you?
Yeah, I mean, I would like to see some changes, but yeah, his multipliers absolutely need to be changed. The HP nukers are on the fence anyway, but just pulling him up on HH Gaming, he 17,000 or 1,700 or basically 1,700 to 1,900 against Hydra, 1935 ranking on his A2, which is his biggest hit, right?
Right.
And his A1, I mean, you're looking at 1,100, 1,200, 1,400 depending on which one it is. So like, for a Void champion, and he's, again, he's HP based snooker, but like his multipliers are just way too off, especially with the meta in the game. And there's no amount of the extra stuff you put on him to make him that much better compared to a Taras, White King Narcissus, things like that. So,
right.
And while you move on, I'm gonna look them up and I'll come back with their multipliers real fast.
I'm gonna say that the A1 should probably be moved up to like 100% or maybe 75%. I don't know if that would be too broken. Although it being not resistible might just make him a polymorph target, so maybe 50% is good. But I feel like the A2 here could work a lot like Odin's A3, where it could be HP or enemy max HP. I think that would make him great for any content. Whether it be Hydra, whether it be the new clan boss or clan boss. I feel like that would just be a little bit, that would pretty much bring him up to scale to current, Void HP nukers. Gestal.
Like, I would honestly like to see them add something to like when he's paired up with Noel. Obviously the multipliers, if he's going to be a damage dealer, that's got to be increased because he's not even close to the other guys.
When you say not close, we're talking like 100 versus 1,700. Just compare.
Also,
they're both void HP, max HP.
Well, yeah, but I'm saying I'm agreeing with you. But like Taurus, bro, Taurus brings the heat, and
right.
Santa's just chilling up in the North Pole doing nothing. So.
Right.
Yeah, like I don't. Yeah.
Meaning, well, I guess what I'm trying to say is like they're on two ends of the spectrum, right? So they're both essentially the same thing. And I get it, Taras is their god for Ukraine or whatnot. But yeah, he hits like his A2 is like 113, whereas his A2 is 1900. Like it's just there might be 1900 champs in the game, and he's at the back end of it for a Void champion.
Agreed.
I think a passive would be good on him. Give him a passive.
Yeah. I think, a passive would be good. What kind of passive would you be thinking, though?
Anything.
He's like anything.
When
something to pair with Noel.
Beast can fly.
Okay. Ken, what about you?
His multi is not good, man. Like his A1 actually doesn't terrible multiplier wise, but if we are going to use him as a DPS position, he need to hit harder. Maybe give him like ignore defense, a little bit 20%, 30%. That can help. Maybe ignore specific buff, like unkillable buff, maybe like stones, not stone skin gonna be strong. Increase defense, strength buff, or the deal damage, double damage enemies under like this specific buff, like the Narcissus doing.
Okay.
Can actually even without increasing his multiplier, dealing double damage. I mean, attack twice on them can actually make him better
double
than
it,
his
yeah.
current form. Yeah, or the
Okay.
like you guys mentioned, giving him passive skill, whatever like the PJ say, like whatever is good, anything is.
I like
It-
Healburn says here freeze targets he deals more damage against frozen targets. That'll kind of pair up with Lady Noel kind of nicely.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was gonna
Yeah.
say after what he said. Is like
L-
leaning
like
to
the
the
good bow,
freeze
right?
thing.
Yeah.
Well, like maybe even ignore defense against frozen targets, something
That would
like
be
that,
good.
where you're not necessarily buffing that, but it's like okay, boom, you can ignore 100% defense if it's a frozen target because they're already taking diminished damage anyway if they are frozen. So
Right.
Yeah.
So, Plarium, we gave you some really good advice here. I know you said not in the near future, but we're hoping as a New Year present upcome in January that you buff this gentleman right here. You don't have to do a lot, just one of those small little ideas, and a lot of people would be happy. Although, again, he will help out people in Clan Boss, so I don't think it's going to require a crazy speed tune either. It's a wild week this week, right? I can't wait to see what happens next week, what we break next week, what Plarium has tested for us for next week to find out and break. But let's talk shoutouts. Ken, what you got for a shoutout for me?
I like to shout out Pogo Pink Tie. Pogo Pink Tie is also the streamer friend, guys. He's pretty much streaming every single day, if I'm not mistaken. I will post his link to the chat so you guys can, if you still not follow him, you guys can find him there. And great guy, make sure to follow him.
Pogo Pink Tie is a great guy. He's also working his rear end off in California, working as a Santa's little helper. Gestal, what about you? What you got for a shout out for me?
I'm going to shout out my man Metaverse Truck. He's, I believe we've had him on here at least once. Also, the leader of CHQ, one of the stronger clans out there. So go over there, Metaverse_Truck on Twitch. Go over there, give him a follow. Awesome dude. And great raid player.
Agreed. I've gone up with him against in some live arenas, and he's kind of whipped my butt. PJ, what about you? What you got for a shout out?
All right, we're giving a shout out to DK. He's an awesome streamer. He shows me lots of love. So we're going to show him some love as well. Check him out, playing the raid. Got a really good account. He's gotten super lucky recently. Been pulling crazy mythicals on Legos. Maybe some of that luck will rub off on one of you guys.
Some awesome. Zero, what about you?
I got two shout outs. One shout out is going to be, you're talking about a crazy week, that the high elf that's coming into the game. That looks stupid good. I don't know if you've gotten a chance to see that kid or yet or
I
not.
have not.
And he's not in the game yet, but it's basically shoes in, but maybe potentially better if the right stars align. So
Oh, snap.
Okay.
yeah. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if y'all have seen it or not, but it's kind of silly. So we'll talk about that, I guess, in the future. My other shout out, my real shout out is to Airfern. He's a good dude, and he's in chat right now. But give him some love. He's got 408 followers. Let's get him up to 500 in a week. Come on, chat.
Let's go.
Give him a follow.
Even though I don't agree with him on nerfing G-Nut, I think for that right there, it hurts. It hurts. Let's go with Ken. Where can people come and find you?
I'm streaming every single day, guys, on the Twitch after the Columbus reset. You guys can find me there. Also, I have a YouTube channel, which the FinalKenpachi. You guys can find it at the same name. Thank you.
All right. Gestal, what about you?
Gestal Gaming on Twitch and YouTube. Trying to get that 1,000 subs on the YouTubes. If you guys give me a follow over there, I would greatly appreciate it.
Let's go.
Yeah, Sunday through Friday, 2 o'clock to 7 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. Hope to see you there.
Awesome. PJ, what about you?
MXPJE on Twitch. We stream pretty much every single weekday, 2 times a day as much as possible. Also starting a little bit of YouTube as well. MXPJE on YouTube. Did a couple of raid videos about Chimera Clash and a couple about like Doom Tower. So check those out and show some love and support. It'd be amazing.
All right. And Zero, what about you?
Yep, I got the YouTubes is too. I got to do some work on that. But every Sunday, Tuesday, and Friday night, I am gonna take tonight off. If you're a member of my Discord, you can go to my Discord and see why. But much love to everyone. And Blazin, thank you for always doing this for us. And correct me if I'm wrong, but we're off next week. Is that correct?
So we are on next week. It's the week after we're off. We're going to let everybody have the week before Christmas and New Year's off. That way you guys can go have some fun and get drunk and do what you guys got to do. But next week will be the last episode of the podcast for the year. As for my shout out, it's going to go actually to the Dab Master himself, Mr. Zero Brew. You know, you started doing a lot of YouTube stuff and I started watching it and all of a sudden it kind of tipped off and I know why. But I'm hoping that you get back into it and we're going to do one more little thing. This week, you're going to have till the 13th, you're going to give away 5 lots of 540 gems and 1 ancient shard to 5 people. So guys, if you already haven't, make sure you are following Mr. Zero Brew.
Thank you.
Courtesy of Plarium. You know, you guys will have to give me UMID numbers. I don't know how he's gonna pick them. That is up to him. But
awesome. Thank
you very much, guys, for hanging out with us.
Send me those details, please, after stream, so I don't forget them. What the rules are.
I will.
So
I will.
We'll do it good. We'll do it good, Chad. We'll do something good.
Maybe he'll promote his YouTube. Who knows?
Yes.
But as for the YouTube side, unfortunately, we can't raid anybody. Twitch side, we are going to raid Mr. Metaverse Trucking. So I do hope that everybody has a wonderful week. Remember, raid is just a game. Just breathe, relax, and raid on. As always, guys, much love, much appreciation. Be safe, be well, be good to each other. We'll catch you guys next week.